just like over the name being seed
Well,
oils.
yeah, I never used to say,
it,
I would
it's
just
also
call
so
it processed oils.
Yeah. Can we just talk about how confusing the whole thing with seed oils now?
Yeah.
Can we just call them by their names? Like,
Polyunsaturated fats.
but also, I'm not a fan of the name. Obviously, there are oils that are more pro-inflammatory.
Yeah.
If we're going to talk about it like that, it's the inflammation.
This is where I think dietitians and medical professionals can get caught up in the weeds, because one thing is when you analyze the nutrient profile of these oils, the oils from non-fruit plants, meaning the fruity oils are from olive and avocado, okay? Yeah. The other oils are soybean, canola, corn, grapeseed,
sunflower,
safflower, cottonseed.
I know. Who even uses that?
I don't know, man, but it's in things. And then just plain old vegetable oil, which is a mix. The issue is when you look at the nutrient profile of the vegetable oils, just point blank, black and white data, it shows this must be healthy. It's high in polyunsaturated fat. It's low in saturated fats. However, this is where the unconventional group of people butt heads with the conventional medicine world, because you can't just look at the nutrient profile as it is. You have to look at what was done to the fatty acids during processing and making of the oil. So
it doesn't just come out of the sky.
Correct. So like olives, they're cold pressed. You just press the oil. You can feel an olive and feel how greasy and oily it is. It's so easy to extract the oil. If you feel canola, which is rapeseed plant, you don't feel how oily it is. So it has to go through an extensive process to extract the oil. It requires a ton of pressure, like mechanical pressure, heat. It's exposed to oxygen and light during the processing, and then they're using chemical solvents to molecularly extract the fatty acids. And that process ends up creating oxidation. The oxidation, these free radicals in the oil, then cause inflammation.
In your body.
Yes. So we can't separate this. Like, it's high in polyunsaturated fats, but by the way, there's all these oxidants in there and it causes inflammation. But then one argument is they say, but then they add vitamin E or tocopherol to the oil to counteract that. Like they add an antioxidant. It doesn't completely counteract it. FYI, the damage has already been done. The food scientists can even remove some of the molecules in the oil that cause a really rancid smell so that it doesn't smell as bad as it should. And then just in general, a polyunsaturated fat is so fragile and susceptible to oxidation with any light or oxygen and heat. So then just packaging it in a clear bottle is going to constantly expose it to light as it sits in the store, number one. It's exposed to oxygen and heat while it's being processed, number two. Like, you can't get around that. Then you're going to expose it more to heat if you're, like, pan frying or sauteing something. And then especially if you're, like, making French fries at McDonald's with it. Like, it's the most heat you could expose it to. So if it wasn't already oxidized in the processing and making of it, it's now even more when you're cooking with it at such high heat. And so then what is that oxidized oil and polyunsaturated fat doing in your arteries and your heart? Not good things. And this is something that wasn't in our food system this prevalent like before the 50s.
And they're using it because it's cheaper, right?
Yeah, obviously. Okay. So that's an important part that I feel
like frying French fries in a big vat of olive oil, which isn't even the best oil because of the cooking temperatures.
It's still polyunsaturated fat, so it still can be oxidized at that high heat.
More expensive.
Super expensive. So the benefit of, I think, heating with olive oil is you didn't get an oil that was already ruined by the time you're cooking with it. Especially most of them are in these dark bottles or the tins to protect it, by the way, from the light. But then when you fry with it, you're going to oxidize it and ruin it. I think olive oil is best when you're not cooking with it. Use it when you're done roasting something in the oven. Use it on a salad and such. But for salad dressing too, like for using it when you're not putting heat to it. Yes. So one of the unfair things is that the corn and soy industries are subsidized by the government. So it makes it an unfair playing ground. It makes it artificially cheaper for these food manufacturers to use. It's still a business, the food industry. Like, they have to make money.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
I don't blame them personally.
Yeah.
I think people should be informed so that you can make a healthier choice for yourself.
Yeah. Then it's just, are you choosing quality over convenience? What would you rather do? Would you rather have like more of a healthy product that takes you longer because you have to physically cook it yourself?
Yeah.
Or drive-through food that is
Yeah.
quick and convenient, but also like lower quality
And harmful.
and harmful?
Yeah. Do you sacrifice
Yeah.
your health for something that's more convenient?
Yeah.
I think the argument that's hard to win is for people who literally can't afford the more expensive option. And that's where I'm like, have an issue with it because it's an unfair playing ground. Like it's artificially more expensive because those industries are subsidized.
Yeah,
so if
totally.
you all just like even the playing field, then we would make it easier for us to choose a healthier option.
Totally. Yeah, if you think about like how much a big jug of vegetable oil costs, it's probably like $2. Like versus like olive oil bottle, same amount.
Or
could be like
avocado oil
10.
is so expensive.
I know avocado is so expensive, but avocado oil is another one that you can use at a higher heat.
Definitely. So that is one that I would say
Recommend
cooking, like pan frying
I
and
have
roasting
totally been
with.
doing that lately.
Yeah.
Because, honestly, we had this conversation recently, and I was like, oh,
Right.
okay.
And then because it's so costly, it like makes you, I think, question, am I going to use all this to
Yeah.
fry something? No, it's such a
Totally, but I use it way more sparingly
Yes,
because I was like,
exactly.
I'm not wasting
I
this
know.
$10 bottle of avocado oil.
Another good one, I think, is ghee.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
husband loves ghee.
Yeah. The flavor, it depends what you're cooking with. If I don't taste it, I'll use
It's a
it.
little stinky. It's a little, it's a little pungent.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
I agree.
But in general, we're obsessed with butter in our house.
Yeah, but the ghee doesn't burn in a pan like butter does. So if you're like trying to pan fry or saute something, that could work. Sometimes I'll mix it with olive oil if I want the flavor of the olive oil to overpower the ghee
Good combo.
smell and flavor.
I
Yeah.
mostly use that for steak.
Good idea.